Hello, chess people. I played in a tournament this last Saturday, and I won 4 out of 4 games. But I have a lot to improve on because I made a ton of mistakes, and I didn't capitalize on some of my opponent's mistakes. So, I would love to analyze some of my games from this last tournament and see where improvements can be made. So let's do it, my friends. Grab your non-alcoholic beverage of choice, mine being this lovely non-alcoholic golden ale, delightfully crisp, refreshing. Grab your cat, make sure it's in the room. My cat's in the room, we're good to go. Alright, so this is the first game. I had the black pieces, and my opponent was unrated, but he's been playing for 20 years. So you never really know what you're going to get, and it's best to just play the board, not the person, right? Try not to overthink it. So I played what I really like to play. Caro-Kann. E4, C6, knight to F3. We're still going to push D5. This could transpose to an exchange. Whole bunch of things, right? But we have, an advanced variation. So here's where I test my opponent and how much he knows. Oops. Okay, bishop goes outside of the pawn chain. We don't want to close this in, right? All right. D4, so far so good. E6, closing the pawn chain. Closing the pawn structure, rather. And this bishop comes out. So at this point, I don't really know what I'm dealing with still. So this is absolutely a move, but I want to be active. So queen b6, attacking the pawn, pressuring this pawn. My idea is I want to play c5, I want to break this center. I want to put pressure on white. So I wanted to see how he would deal with this. Because, a lot of the times this pawn's poisoned, but you'll see in a moment here, this pawn was not poisoned. It goes back to d2, which is fascinating. It doesn't defend the pawn. And I could just take that. I mean, I saw this and I thought, you know what? I could take it, but do I want to waste a bunch of time taking a pawn? Or should I keep pressing an advantage? And usually in my Caro-Kann, advanced Caro-Kann, I'm behind in development. Because we got to make all these little moves with little space we have, right? Maneuvering the knights back and forth. But so I thought, okay, he didn't bring his bishop back to e3, right? He didn't support the center. He's not even defending this. So I want to push the center. So I played c5. Turns out, I can just take this pawn. What's he going to do? We're threatening the rook, right? So he can do this. This isn't very scary because, well, for one, we could just go back. But two, this bishop's still alive. He hasn't played bishop d3 yet for some reason. I could take this pawn. I don't want to take it with the bishop because that would be bad. He's going to win everything. I could take it with the queen, and I'm just up 2 pawns. But something about this just didn't appeal to me. I mean, this sounds ridiculous, but I drove 3 hours for this tournament. I was like, all right, do I want to exchange queens on move 4 or 5? And then, no, I don't. This sounds boring. I'm sorry. I probably could win. I mean, I could win this game. Like, I would win this game. But my God, I would like to stay awake while I'm doing it, right? So here's this move I missed, which is fascinating. Pinning the bishop to the king. And if bishop takes, we take the rook. And if we get attacked again, we just run away. Now we're just up a bunch of material, man. Like, it's pretty good. So, I saw the possibilities. I just thought, okay, maybe this is prep. Maybe there's a trick. So really, I created kind of a phantom threat in my head because it was not a good way to play as white, but I just couldn't see past the possible trap. Like, it was just good for me. So one thing I learned from this is, okay, let's just evaluate it objectively, remove the emotion from it, just look at the board. Is my queen getting trapped? Am I going to get checkmated? Am I giving something away? No. Okay, take the free stuff. Take the free stuff, win. That's what I learned from this. So this is only move 6, right? So let's go back. Okay, c5, and he plays this knight h4 move, meaning to take the bishop. And at this point, I know that his knowledge on the Caro-Kann is not as deep as mine, because I want to get rid of that. I want to get rid of that bishop. And usually we see bishop d3. Usually we'll see bishop d3. Maybe not in this position because we get these weird pawns, right? But beforehand, especially, bishop d3, and we'll exchange. The queen will come out. But I know since he didn't play this, I'm thinking, all right, he doesn't play this very often. So I wanted to provoke a weakness with bishop e4. I wanted to provoke f3 to make any kingside castling difficult for him. And it didn't work. Instead, he moved out this knight, which is like, okay. So now, like, I could take here. I could just take. And if he takes, I have 2 pawns in the center, right? This is like a dream. But again, I was thinking, all right, I've got a queen out. My king is in the center. I should probably castle and get out of dodge. Develop. Do something principled, right? So after that, I attack the trapped piece. He can go back if he wants. I can exchange, maintain these 2 pawns in the center. This brilliant center, right? And he really surprised me again. Check, blocking, right? Takes. I take with the queen. This is fine. He takes the bishop, and now look. This is not good for this knight. He's got nowhere. It's trapped. It's just trapped. His only way forward, queen g4. Defending and attacking. So there's threats of his own now. Okay, so what on earth was I considering here? Well, I spent a little bit of time trying to see if I could get a little creative and give up the G pawn, excuse me. So I thought about castling queenside here, and I calculated castles queenside take. Then I realized, okay, no, my knight's dead. And then I thought, okay, maybe like takes, and then I can do some sort of discovery, but then the queen just comes out, and then what do I do? So I decided, all right, you know what? I don't know if that's the right way forward. So easiest move, best move in the position, g6. Just developing, excuse me, not developing, just protecting everything, right? All right, bishop g5, offering a trade of bishops. Well, I'll take that. Take. And now a very lovely sequence. h6, queen back, g5. It makes sense. Just pawns marching, right? Attacking the knight. There's nowhere for the knight to go. Yeah, there's nowhere for the knight to go. So he takes on c5. And I thought, okay, if I take now and he takes, I will not be able to castle. And this might be an issue, right? If I do this, this might be an issue. A little more counterplay than I'm comfortable with. So this knight's not going anywhere. Castle. Plays f3. Does not help. I mean, I really... That just does not help. What would help? I mean, castling, I guess. We're still going to have issues here, but at least he's castled. Both rooks can get in the game, but f3 and take the knight. here it comes to g7. This doesn't bother me now. It's easy. Look, we just defend each other. Very simple. Simple chess is the best chess, right? These pawns are disgusting. But I have so much pressure. I have so much, right? I mean, my pieces are going to get going and his are not. Even here, I mean, if he castles, this is not good, right? If he makes a mistake like this, ooh, woof. Right? So even something like this, you know, not the best. Could I even do that? I mean, that's nasty, man. Look at that nonsense. That's just so silly. Silly position, right? So he plays his rook to the center, and I can just take that. And now the king can't castle. He's going to kind of mosey his way on towards the queen side. And then I see this symmetry here. And chess is just full of symmetry, right? So attack the queen, forcing move, right? I want this pawn. He takes on h6. I'm not bothered. And perhaps I should have started with a check, but I took here. And now key move from our opponent here. Uncomfortable move. Queen f8. Check. So everything we know from chess tells us a position like this, super uncomfortable. The queen's infiltrated our position. My pawns are weak. I mean, sure, I'm up a knight, but this is a king that could be in some danger soon. And what we find is we have to defend the knight. We have to. We go to c7, we lose it. That's not good. Pretty even game after that. So defend the knight with the king. And key move here by my opponent, king c1, allowing the rook to come into the game. Very dangerous indeed. And queen takes c5, defending the knight. The looming threat of checkmate is hanging over his head now. So his moves have to be forcing, and what we're going to see is a series of just very uncomfortable moves that you have to react correctly to or you lose. C6 or C7 work here. I chose C6. I was thinking in my calculations, once he did king C1, I was thinking I could do this, but that would be a devastating loss, game-losing, terrible time, because, look, the queens would see each other, we'd be down, right? Queen c6, in comes the rook, and king b5. We're going on a king walk. a4 check. Still, king takes a4. And believe it or not, this is mate in 7. Any way you cut it. Which is wild. I didn't know it was mate in 7. I knew it was mate soon, but yeah, here's a check, and very fun move here. Knight c6, right? Okay. Should note as well, this knight's not free because of checkmate. That'd make us very happy, right? Make it very easy. So, yeah. Knight c6, blocking. All right, rook back, defending checkmate. Don't really feel like trading. It would be okay if I did, but I don't really feel like trading. I give a check here on g1. And I made a mistake here. I should have gone to f2, but I went to e3, which allows him to step back. Not the end of the world, but this is a little more accurate. This is not possible now, obviously. So he's got to do this, and I can even just walk up here, and we're safe. I mean, this is not good for him. However, he got his king to b1, sort of improving the position. So I thought, all right, you know what? I got this pawn up here. This is devastating. This is a devastating threat of queening and just, yeah, queening and taking the back rank, and it's devastating, right? We could put a rook on g1 once the pawn's on f2. Take, right? Checkmate coming soon here. So my opponent continues to give checks. This is a lot of checks in a row, right? b3 check. Now where can the king go? The king can go back to a5 towards my pawns. I can go over, I can go diagonal, but I chose up. Because in my head I'm thinking, all right, there and there is checkmate. Two moves, checkmate, right? However, white has checks. Only move. Knight b4, right? Very uncomfortable because white's next move sets up a threat that I had not even thought about. And what's the threat? It's checkmate. Very simple. It's checkmate. So, how do I stop that? This guy's on the wrong color squares. Can't really intervene. If he was here, I could at least, you know, maybe go there. I can go back, and then we'll have a perpetual, right? We don't want that. We do not want that. We do not want that. So, I got to find something to do here. I can't bring the queen back. Not on the right color, right? After this, yeah, can't bring the queen back because of checkmate. So my king went on kind of vacation here all the way up to white's queen side. And if we had an extra move, we could do this. But we can't. So I got a little nervous here, and I was sort of thinking like, all right, what can I do, because I am going to lose rating big time if I draw an unrated dude. So not only that, I'm winning this game. I mean, this game's won. I should be winning. I want to win, right? So just deep down, it's like, all right, I got 15 minutes on the clock. How do I go forward here? So I thought about what I tell my students, which is look for forcing moves. So what are the forcing moves in the position? Well, we have two checks. Queen c1, and we get rook takes, and then we're lost. All right, queen c1, king takes. It's a little more interesting because of rook takes, king over, rook check, over, and checkmate. But he doesn't have to play that. He can take with the rook. So, okay, that's out, right? Because that's not forcing enough. It could win, but if our opponent is asleep, right? That's not how we play chess. That's hope chess, hoping that he makes a mistake. So I'm like, all right, queen takes b3 check would just be super cool if it worked. It would be so cool if that worked. So at this point, 30 minutes have passed in the game, and I'm you're tired at that point, right? So you're like, all right, this has got to be it. The adrenaline's going. Like, okay, queen takes b3 check. Two options. The king can go to c1 or a1, right? And then you say, no, there's more than two options. There's three options. The pawn takes. Of course, dummy, right? Because he's not just going to get checkmated. So, okay. And you realize the variations in the tree. So, queen takes b3 check. Pawn takes. Now more forcing moves are needed. Rook b2. Check. Okay. King a1. And then I thought, all right. Knight a2, check. Oh no, but the king can get out on d2. And then I thought, no, wait. The king can't get out on d2. There's a rook on the file. There's a rook on the rank. So it's just a series of like checking and double checking and triple checking. I think I checked like 4 or 5 times, because if you sack your queen and you think you're winning, and you look up all triumphant and you just lose the game, you feel stupid. You look stupid. So let's see it, right? Queen takes. Pawn takes. Check. Either way, it's going to be checkmate. Checkmate. This is how the game went. After the rook check, my opponent looked up and realized and resigned. He's a very good opponent. He clearly had some tactical awareness about him because my king got pushed all the way to a3, for God's sakes. We analyzed the game together afterwards, talked about what we were thinking. So then the takeaway from this is look at all the moves you have available, no matter how silly. So I thought I was going to have to take a draw. And then I thought, all right, I'm going to take an extra couple minutes, just think. Look at forcing moves. No matter how ridiculous it looks, like I was like, I don't want to give up my queen. That doesn't make any sense. And then, you know, it looks ridiculous, but you look closer, and it wins. So, yeah, that was the only move. Really glad I found it. Very tough. But I wish I could say I calculated all of that. Like I knew that would work 10 moves ago. I didn't. I did not. Safer route probably would have been king down to a5, but king a3 just looks so fun. A king and queen mate on b2. Oh, you can't pass that up. But hopefully this helps help you in some way. Shoot, if you're still watching, you're probably one of my friends. So hey, buddy. Yeah, keep calm, chess on. Go through your tournament games, find improvements, and I'll see you later. Take care.